Today we have a 2014 Toyota Camry. We'll be replacing the right CV axle.
So first thing I did in order to get to the axle is remove the tire with the 21mm socket and impact gun to remove the tire. Now I'm going to use a 30mm 12-point socket to remove this bolt with the impact gun, or this nut with the impact gun holding the axle in place. Now that we removed that bolt, as you can see, it kind of ate it up. Oh well, it's the old one. We removed that. We're going to work on our back side now. We're going to remove these 3 bolts right here, or 2 nuts and 1 bolt. So 17 hold the lower control arm together, as well as the tie rod, which is I believe also number 17. Sorry about that. So we'll remove this cotter pin, remove this, as well as the 3 on the control arm here. So we're going to remove a total of 3 nuts and 1 bolt. Now with the hammer, I'm going to strike the side of this in order to release the knuckle. So once you hit it, it should knock up, and then we can swing this up. So as you see, the tie rod has been released from here. We'll also separate the control arm from the knuckle here. So now we're just going to swing it outward and remove the axle. As you can see, I've separated the axle from the spindle and the hub, whatever. So now with a 14 socket, I'm going to remove this bolt here, as well as with a channel lock. Squeeze this clamp and move to the side. So I've removed the bolt here, as well as this little clamp. As you can see, it's kind of swinging around. So now with either a pry bar or a hammer and something to hit it with here, we're going to start sliding it, get it loose and slide it out. So I only used the pry bar just to like kind of give me a little leverage right here, and just kept using the angle as I could, leverage. So now you can see it's loose from the transmission. So now I'm just going to pull it out and get ready to install the new one. So we have our new CV axle here, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and slide it into place, being sure that the grooves on this gear lock in the transmission before we go any further and attaching everything. So let's go ahead and slide this in. So a pretty easy way to test to see if you are going into grooves and not just pushing unnecessarily to twist it. And you see that tire move, then you're obviously in there. So we can go ahead and get it all the way in. So I now have it sitting flush in there. So all we have to do now is put our 14mm bolt back, as well as that clamp. Placed it right here. Just kind of snap it in, snap it back in place right there, and squeeze it with our channel locks to lock it back in place. So I got my 14mm nut back in. This is snapped back into place. Now all we got to do is slide it into the spindle and start bolting everything back down. All right, as you can see, I got our 2 nuts and the bolt on the lower control arm in place. This bolt here with the tie rod with our cotter pin still back in place. You can still see the axle's not fully in. Well, obviously it's because we haven't tightened it down yet. So I've already begun just kind of like threading this nut in. So now with our impact gun and our 30mm, well, this is a different one now. So let's see, let me check the size of this and then we'll get our impact gun. Okay, so back to sorry about that. So with the 32mm 6-point socket, we're gonna use our impact gun to get this in until just this lip here is right about this region here, not too far back, so that we can hammer it into place. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this in, then we can hammer it. All right, so I got it in place pretty much all the way to the end of the groove. Now with the punch and our hammer, we're gonna hit it right there just to get it to crush in, just to help, basically the same concept as a cotter pin, just to prevent it from moving. All right, as you can see, I hammered it down. So now all we gotta do is put our tire on and we're done. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, more videos to come.